Hi everybody, Llewellyn here with Worn to Whimsy, and today we're just going to keep working on this vanity that I had started. So I have a few paint colors that I've already poured out, and we're going to be doing the sand and the water and the sky. So I've got everything set up. We're just working on still on this vanity, so it's going to be matching and wrapping around like I usually do. I don't know if you can probably see on the other side, I've already done quite a bit of it. So I basically finished up the other side. It still has a little bit of a ways to go. And today I'm getting started on this side. And then I figured if I have time, I'll move around over to the front and I'll work a little bit on the waves over there and kind of show how I got the more perfect looking waves on that side. So I hope everybody's having a good day. We're doing pretty well over here. It's been really, really rainy, so we haven't been outside as much as we'd like, but you know, comes with the territory. But today was finally some sun. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep working on this and probably moving it back and forth. I have it on my little handy dandy wheels. Make a horizon line, and this is just more of my winter beach scene that I was working on last week. So, and that's a really messy line, but that's okay because this is we're just blocking in the colors. This color that I'm using now is antebellum blue, and I'm just using it straight out of the jar. And then I'm gonna go in with some of the Gulf. This is another Dixie Belle color, and probably shouldn't use it straight out of there, but I'll just change my brush. I'll use a clean brush and just use it straight out. I don't like to use it straight out if I'm mixing them or if it's like a brand new jar. I try to keep them nice for a certain amount of time, but you know, I'm not very good at that. So yeah, I'm going in with a bit of the Gulf just to kind of lighten it up around the edges. And this is gonna be similar to what I did on my last live, which was the beginning on the other side. But towards the end of the live, I'm gonna be going back over on the other side. I'll get my stuff blocked in on this side and then we can head over there, because really the blocking in part doesn't take me too long. So just trying to get everything going. It was kind of running late. It was kind of a rush to get online and get over here. The time got away from me today. So I just have my colors on this plate, and I just put some cling wrap over it really quick just so that I can throw it away when I'm done and not worry about mixing everything inside the little jars. So for my sand color, that's one of the things I wanted to show you guys. Let me rinse out my brush. My sand color, I like to use the pink, the yellow, and the purple. So I'm gonna mix, and this is like, I mix the yellow because that would be sandy, you know, but that's way too bright. So I'll tone it down with some white and then add in some of the pink. So now you can see it's more tan once you add in the pink, and I want a lot of it, so I'm mixing a lot. So that looks kind of tan. So to get rid of that weird tan, I'll use purple because it's kind of an opposite of all three, and that'll gray it out a bit. So that makes more of a gray, tan, sandy color that you can see there. And I know Dixie Belle has a more sandy color. I just haven't bothered to order it yet because I could just mix it. So yeah, if you ever want to like dull down one of your colors, just look at the color wheel and the exact opposite color will be it. And I'm going in here with this sandy color. You can see it looks pretty sandy. On the other side, it's more gray. So to get that more gray, I'll just add some purple straight in there. And you can see that really makes it a nice gray sand. And for this part, it's not too big of a deal. I'm gonna try and get the sand right, but I usually go over it again anyway. This is just to give me an idea of the layout of the land and to put in your background colors. And this side will be pretty quick because I already did the same thing pretty much on the other side and curved it around the front. So there's my beach going in. Okay, so I'm just kind of getting my base coat in, and I'm gonna move on to the sky. Let's see, grab a different brush for my sky. And my sky, I used Dixie Belle blue mainly, and then I put a bunch of clouds over it. So for this part, I'm just gonna do the background, and then I'll add the clouds later. And this is just a really pretty sky blue color. It's, you can see it's pretty bright. So I have a bunch of cotton, which is white, poured out over there. So I'll just mix a little bit in with it. And my sky really didn't end up looking much like this at all. So I'm not too worried about it being that bright right now. I'm just trying to get all these colors in. Just a base coat. And just getting in all the little corners over here. And I'll need some more white. Usually I just go in with a white background, but I forgot my big brushes, so I'm just kind of like mixing it on my piece as I go. But that's okay, because it will be recoated pretty soon here. And we're gonna be moving around to the front in a minute here. If you're just joining in, I have the other side is more finished. On the front, I already have the first coat on there, so we're gonna move over there and work a bit on that. And I'll show you just kind of how I got the waves and a bit more depth and dimension in it. So these hills, they're far off. The further one will be a little bit more gray out. You won't be able to see much color on it. So I'm just mixing some gray up really quick with my cotton and my gravel road color. And I think I'm just gonna have this coming up out of the water, right along the horizon line. And then the beach can kind of come back in. There we go. And this is gonna be a winter beach too, so I think I'm gonna add like some grass with snow over it. Okay. Let me get this a little darker. And I'm gonna have another one coming down in front of that one. I'll be able to see it better when I go back in and like give them more depth. But for now, this works. Just gives an idea of land being there, so that's what matters. Do a bit of a dark line right here. There we go. So we've got the base in, and it doesn't have to be super pretty because that's all it is. Okay, I'm gonna roll this back and kind of move around to the front because the front on the other side is the fun part. And I got this thing on my little wheelies, so that makes it easier. Move all my stuff here. Sorry guys. I tend to just move around a piece and have you all move with me, so you have to come along for the ride. There we go. I'm gonna put it back a bit. Okay, so this is the part that I wanted to show you guys today. And I worked on the other side. Grab all my brushes. I'm just wrapping it around the front. So for the waves, let's see, I'm gonna need my spray bottle because I went in really lightly for the waves with the white. And I kind of just did it as I went along. Let me grab my ocean colors here too, because we're gonna need those. For the foam, I just kind of brought it down over the beach and I just did like little wiggly lines. Now you can see around the edge that kind of looks like a wave. Just kind of lapping up onto the sand here. And I just kind of repeated that movement here and there, trying not to be like too perfect with it because you want it to be random still. And a lot of times those waves that are coming forwards, you will see the sand coming right through them. So that was the look I was going for. And I kept it pretty watered down as I went along. There we go. And now I'm just adding some waves coming forwards. Sorry about the light in here. It keeps changing whenever the sun comes out and goes away. I want to make sure I'm still getting it to match the other side. And then let me open up. This is the Gulf. This is the other color I was using before. So pretty much my ocean was antebellum blue. The Gulf is the lighter color, and then cotton. Cotton was my white. Okay. And I'm going in with my Gulf color in here, and I'm just gonna make it kind of a white water area, like where it would have a lot of foam. And I'm keeping it pretty wet so that it blends all together. I don't want it to be quite to the point of dripping, but if it does, it happens. If it does start dripping, you can just grab a paper towel and wipe it up. That's what I do. Fix my mistakes. And I'm just going back and forth between the cotton color. And you can see as I layer it on there, it just gets a bit brighter. Going back and forth between cotton and the Gulf. And I got a little bit drippy in there, but that's okay. I'm probably gonna end up adding some grass in these corners too and trying to make it look like there's snow on them. So I'm gonna go back in here and let's see. I wanted to kind of clean up these. And for these little like wavy parts, I just kind of like tap with the brush. It almost looks like I'm shaking it, but I don't want them to be too perfect. Make sure you all can see really good. Hope you're not looking at my feet. Okay. Here we go. add in some more whites up here. That could be like a crashing wave coming over. And I'm just gonna add some dark, like directly under the waves, because that will help define them. And then, you know, wherever the water is kind of lower or deeper, you can put that antebellum blue in there. And probably put some up here right along the horizon line as well. And then you can come back in. I'm gonna keep this kind of wet. And I'm just gonna keep blending my Gulf in there. And I just kind of keep going back and forth between the two colors as I go along. And then like wherever it's lighter would probably be a more raised area, or an area where the light is hitting it a bit more, or where there's more foam. So just go back in and lighten up that antebellum, but blending at the same time. And now I'm going to make my horizon line a little bit darker than everything else. Okay, I'm making some sort of this gray color for some clouds. I'm gonna bring these little clouds around the edge. And I kept it pretty wet. I gotta be careful though, because I don't want my ocean to run, because that's still a little bit damp. It's not all the way dry yet. Yeah, I think I started with the cliffs on the other side, or it wasn't too far in to my live last time, so that's too dark. So it should be pretty easy to find. You can always like fast forward through it. Okay. And I'm just bringing my clouds around the side. I got it a little bit wet. That's what I was trying to avoid. It's okay. There we go. I'm still not sure if I'm even gonna keep, what do you guys think? Should I keep the sky like that blue color? So I did it that light blue because it reminded me of like a winter colors. But I'm not sure if I want to keep it. And then all the inspiration photos I was looking at, you know how when you're at the beach and you see like that fog bank like out to sea? So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I'm just trying to add like these white wispy clouds. if I were to go back in again, I would probably just let this dry really, really well. And then, because even now it's still blending and mixing a little bit, so I'm not gonna get the brightest white that I can get. Quite yet. So let's see if I can add some of the grass in. I just poured a little bit of collard greens onto my palette, and that's like this deep, I don't know, it's almost like an olive green, but darker. So it's like a dirtier green. I like it. It's really pretty. And I'm just using this little brush. This is the Tipsy one from the Turquoise Iris collection. It's one of my favorite for my lines, my thin lines and stuff. And I might actually try and get some of the snow in here right now. For the cliffs on the other side, I tried to add the snow with the palette knife, and that worked really well. But this is gonna be like snow on a beach, so. So now that I've got the beach in there, and you know, when you see like a snowy beach, you don't usually see the snow going all the way down. And I'm definitely gonna have to go back and perfect this. But when you see snow on the beach, it doesn't usually go all the way down to the water because it kind of melts. So I'm gonna be adding like some darks and lights in there, probably in gray colors, reminiscent of snow. And then we'll have the grass coming up out of it. So that's just kind of a background. I wanted to get some of it in there before I really start with the grass. The color that I'm using for the grass, I just kind of mixed more of my tan sand color, but I added more yellow to it so that it would stand out, less purple and more yellow. So that would be daisy and apricot and cotton with maybe a little bit of aubergine. I just kind of play around with them until they work, you know, and then I'll put a little bit on there. If it doesn't work, I'll change it up. And then for the dark parts of my grass, I would go back in with some of the, where is it? Collard greens. It's like this deep, deep, deep green. It's almost like a gray green. And that's for like the shadow. You can see I'm putting some of those in there right now. And you can start like with the shadow as your back, like the collard greens as your background, and then go over it with the more yellow color. I think that's all I have going on for this week, but thank you all so much for hanging out with me today and coming along for my painting time. Bye-bye, you guys.